Hi everybody, I just thought I would pop on and show you a few projects that I've completed. I know a lot of these are on videos on YouTube, but some of them are things that you probably haven't seen before and kind of little things that I've been working on kind of on the sidelines. I don't video everything that I do, even though sometimes it seems like I do. But just thought this would be a good opportunity to show you a few things that I've had in the works, and maybe it will inspire you to try some different things than what I've shown you in the past. If you see anything that I'm showing you today that you would love for me to do a video on, I would love to do that for you. So just let me know. As I said, some of these things you have already seen. This is the hibiscus skateboard, and you watched me paint this. It's been probably over a year ago, I would say, that I did this skateboard. And I've got a protective coat of resin on it now, so it is all ready to mount on the wall. I think it turned out really cool. I did go back and add some little gold dots in the centers of the hibiscus just to kind of finish it off, but really loved how this piece turned out. Another thing that you've seen me do are the coasters that I made for Jim and I's wedding, and I added the date of our wedding as well as our the H for Helvig, which is my last name now too, I guess. But these were coasters that I had set on the tables for everyone, and these are resin sunset coasters. So that's one thing that you've seen me do. Now this is something that I am super, super excited about. So this is actually a rose from my bouquet from the wedding. And I dried this rose in silica gel, and then I cast it into resin. So I used a silicone mold, and there's probably 8 or 9 layers of resin in this. So, but the rose was dried first and then it was cast into resin. And the one thing that I really love about it, if I get this just right, do you see the reflection on the bottom of it down here? See how it's reflecting the base of the rose in the dome? I just think this really turned out amazing. So I was really happy with how this turned out. I did some other pieces too, but this is probably my favorite piece. And this was one of the coral roses that was in my bouquet. So really excited how that turned out. And this was kind of a new venture for me. I've never cast flowers in resin, so that was a lot of fun. Another thing that I've kind of started doing lately are the glitter tumblers. This was kind of another thing that I had done. Let me see if I can get this a little bit closer for you. This is another thing that I had done for all of our guests at the wedding. This is actually for my sister-in-law, Lisa. And this is kind of a replacement because somehow we lost her tumbler in Florida somewhere. So this is kind of another fun thing that I started doing is the glitter tumblers. And one of the tumblers that you saw me do was this one. And I actually painted this along with a canvas. And this was actually Jim's tumbler for our wedding. So I added with my Cricut, I cut out Mr. and then established 2020, and that's in copper foil. The other thing that I did was Jim is a huge Batman fan. So a lot of my tumblers will have kind of a special thing on the bottom, and Jim's has a Batman emblem on it. On the beach tumblers, I did a turtle. And then on some of the other tumblers that I've made, this is another one that I did just for fun. It says always be humble, and I love this glitter. This is one of my favorite glitters. But one of the things that I started to do on some of these other tumblers is to put a hummingbird on it. And my mom passed away almost 15 years ago, but she loved hummingbirds. And so I just thought this was kind of a way for me to add a little piece of her into some of my tumblers that I do. So that's the tumblers. Another thing that I have done is cutting boards, and this is one of the cutting boards I did. I poured paint on it and then I finished it off with resin. So it's still a functional cutting board, but it's kind of a functional piece of art now. And I also wanted to show you this other one that I did. This is a cutting board that I did, and it has a matching set of coasters. But this is actually a class that I worked in conjunction with acrylic pouring to offer. And I'll put the code down below. The class is $25. It is probably, I think it's over an hour of instruction, but one of the things that I teach you how to make is the cutting board as well as a set of coasters to match it. And then there's also a lesson on how to do the Dutch pour technique, and you'll make a set of coasters and a trivet for those too. And normally the class is $25, but I have a coupon for you, and I'll put that in the description of this video, and it'll give you 40% off. So it's kind of a great opportunity when we're kind of shut in right now with all of the COVID-19 stuff going on. I find that it's a great time to learn something new, and I think it kind of takes our mind off of what's going on. So I'll put that code in the description so that you can save 40% off of it. So it just makes it $15 for the class. And I will help you every step of the way. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer those too. But that's the cutting board, and this is just a really fun thing to do. The other thing that I like to do are poured letters. So this is a letter that I purchased off of Amazon. I can't remember for sure what the style of the letter is. I can look that up and put that in the description as well. But I had done these like last year sometime. I did one for Jim and one for myself. And this is just a fun little accent to add to our photo wall. And it has some really cool like cells and stuff in the paint itself. And then I just coated that with resin as well, and that gives it the really nice, shiny, fun finish on it. And then I've got one more thing to show you. Actually, I have two more things. So this is a Lazy Susan that I did. I did not do a video on this one. This was one that sometimes I like to just paint and see what happens. And this was kind of one of those things that I painted to see what would happen. And it's kind of a Dutch pour technique. And I noticed as I was pulling my projects together for you guys that I really like purple a lot. So I do a lot of stuff with purple, but I really do love bright, fun colors. And someday when my studio is finished, we actually just hung the door on the bathroom today. So once that gets trimmed out and I get everything cleaned up, I'll show you what my studio looks like. And you'll see, I mean, you can see from the background, my pink countertop, and I love fun, bright colors. But this was a Lazy Susan that I had done, and I think it turned out really beautiful. It's got blues and purples in it, and it has a white background. And I kind of love this negative space here, and I think it really kind of brings to life the design that's in the center of it. Again, coated with resin. And I think you guys know, if you've watched me for a while, that I love Counterculture DIY resin. I use the artist resin on pretty much everything that I do. So coasters, on the cutting boards that I did, on actually pretty much everything that you see here has the Counterculture artist resin on it, except for the flower. This is actually culture cast resin because it's cast a lot thicker. You can't cast this as thick. So this is an actual casting resin that they sell. So other than that though, everything, even the tumblers, I use the artist resin on. And one of the reasons that I use the artist resin, or actually Counterculture resin on my stuff, is that I don't have the reactions to it that I've had with some other resins. Some of the other resins can kind of cause me to break out into a rash. But I really like it because it is heat safe up to 500 degrees. And it's heat safe within 72 hours. So some of the other ones that I've used, it takes up to 30 days for it to be heat safe. So it's really nice that it cures within 24 hours and then it's heat safe within 72. So that's kind of a bonus too. And then I also have a clock to show you. This is another one that I don't believe is a video. I'm trying to hold stuff up for you so that you can see it without the glare of the lights. It's a little bit overcast today, so I just want to make sure that you are able to see all the projects. But this is actually poured on a record. I'll show you the back side of it. The clock mechanism goes in the center where the hole for the record player is. And then I also put a chunk of cork on it. And what that does, if you can kind of see from the side here, so it's about the same thickness as what the clock mechanism is. And what that does is while it's hanging on the wall, it kind of tends to tilt forward. So this kind of helps it to stay straight on the wall. But this is actually, I believe, a Victrola album, but I have painted on regular albums as well. So, and this is really an inexpensive thing for you to paint on, and they're a lot of fun. So if you don't want to turn them into clocks, you can also make pieces of art with them. But this particular one is a clock, and once it gets painted, then I add the resin, well, I add numbers to it first, add the resin to it, clock mechanism in the hands, and it becomes a clock. So this one has some really cool, fun cells in it, and it has the champagne gold that I really love to use too. So And then one of the last things that I wanted to show you was, this is a video that I just put up. It has like the keychains in it. So it was, I think it's labeled cool things to do with leftover resin. And these are just some fun little keychains that I had done. And then the alphabet mold to make little refrigerator magnets. And then you can also make other magnets too. So just thought I would pop on and show you a few things that I've been doing. And if you have any questions, as always, please, please, please ask. I will put the link for the class if you're interested in taking that and maybe finding something to do while we're all shut into our homes right now. And as I said, please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. And I also wanted to say thank you so much for supporting my channel too. I really appreciate it. I never thought that YouTube would give me all the relationships and connections that I've made over the past over a year now. So I'm super excited about that. I hope you all stay safe and stay well, please. We'll get through all this in no time at all and put it all behind us, but please stay safe. And thanks again for being a subscriber. Thanks again for watching my videos and supporting me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.